My dress-up darling? In a nutshell. This is Gojo, and he really loves these things called Hina dolls. He wants to be just like his grandpa, and make these dolls for a living. Now this is what I call wholesome. Dang bruh, out the gate his cousin bullying him.
Why do you like girls' dolls, Watchan? You're a boy. You're a boy.
Hi, Sarah. Where do you want tea time to be today? Good question, Ashley. Let's do it by the flower garden. Now, I know exactly what y'all are thinking. That was super normal looking.
She literally says she hates him, bruh. Fast forward to the future, and it looks like Gojo didn't change one bit. During lunch with his gramps, he asks him if he's made any friends in high school. That's not a good sign. He tells him, yeah, of course I have friends. But in reality, the only bromance he gets is when guys mistake him for another person. That's awkward. And he sits in the back of the class, not saying anything, because the only thing he wants to talk about is Barbies. As you can see, Gojo's life ain't super peachy. And then all of a sudden, a baddie comes flying in his direction. Her name's Marin. She's super pretty and even knows his name. Don't mess this up, bro. Put those hours of talking to girls to good use. A few days later, Gojo is using the school's sewing machine. And while he's busy talking to his Barbie, she busts in. But instead of bullying him, she praises him. And once she finds out he can make clothes, she starts taking all of hers off. It looks like playing with Barbies got him somewhere. Gojo, it's about time you start playing with a real girl. Wait, hold up, never mind. She just wants him to make a cosplay outfit. Because as you can tell, she ain't the best at it. She kind of looks like a stupid wizard penguin thing. What the heck is that, bro? He accepts her request, and it's not because she's fine. It's because she's super supportive of him and motivates him to be a better person. And it turns out the girl she wants to cosplay is from a super nasty erotic game, which is something that is targeted for, I don't know, people like this. And Gojo is into something targeted for, I don't know, people like this. This common bond gets Gojo hyped. She pats him on the shoulder, thanks him, and shoots him a smile. Hey, don't fall in love with her now, boy! Gojo is home alone, and Marin pulls up, uninvited. She found his address on maps. She finesses her way in and enters his room, and then proceeds to be extremely hot right in front of him. Homie starts freaking out. The only other person who's been in his room is his gramps. That's 0 to 1,000. He manages to calm down, and she asks him to take her measurements. I'm guessing she's probably like 5'5"?
Not those kinds of measurements, my man.
She starts taking all of her clothes off. He's gotta measure everything, bruh. Gojo is freaking out, but then he realizes this isn't some joke. So what if he has to measure her private parts? It's all in the name of cosplay. Cosplays aren't supposed to be stimulating, at least most of the time.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
This is a little embarrassing. Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, it was just a banana. If you and I were the last man and woman on Earth...
Gojo manages to get the job done. And let's just say the animators make it very apparent that Marin is super fun and made sure to drink her milk as a kid. Before she leaves, she gives him the games to help reference her character. It's late into the night, and his gramps gets back home. And he walks in on his grandson playing a video game with a lot of milk in it. You poor man. He's probably questioning everything. How did my grandson go from Barbies to titties in just one night? Due to all of that stimulation, Gojo wakes up a bit busy and gets even more occupied. That same day at school, Gojo does his best to avoid Marin at all costs. Gojo is so focused on how she's a hot, popular girl, and he's a shy, awkward nerd. But she doesn't care about any of that. They're friends, period. After they go shopping for cosplay supplies, Gojo talks about how he takes his compliments very seriously. When he describes something, he means it. Gojo goes into an intense grind mode and finishes Marin's costume. Some animation money is spent on these scenes. They go to a cosplay event, and even more money is spent on certain scenes. After a long day of standing in the sun, watching her take pictures with rather eager gentlemen, and tending to her every need, Gojo is half asleep and calls Marin the B word. I'm talking about the beautiful word, which means a lot coming from this guy. And then episode 6 rolls around. This is where everything changes. In one scene, Marin is squeezing out the sweat from her wig. Pretty disgusting, right? Well, when she looks at Gojo, she makes this face. And then in the next scene, Gojo and his grandpa are staring at her sweaty outfit like some perverts. And she makes this face again. It looks like somebody caught feelings for the Barbie doll boy. She has dinner with them. And we find out Marin's diet is terrible. And that she cooks as well as she makes her outfits.
Oh shit!
Even after they part ways, Marin got one person on her mind and one person only.
Yeah.
A few days later, they meet Shinju, who probably owns a pet cow. Once final exams are over, Marin and Gojo go to the beach. Now don't get me wrong, there are some stimulation moments that happen, but there are way more wholesome moments. Like when Gojo calls the beach the B word. Or when Marin's like, hey, we should do this more. And he's like, yeah. And she's like,
Oh my gosh, I really just said that.
cute. And then something poetic happens. After the thousands of times Gojo stared at Marin's backside, she finally stares at his backside and even snaps a pic. I honestly can't even blame Marin for loving Gojo so much. Homie is a wizard with the cosplays. He manages to defy the laws of physics and turn this into this. In episode 11, they go to a manga cafe, and Gojo gets flustered because they're kinda close to each other. Wholesome. Marin shows Gojo a super cute slice of life manga about this fairy. Aww. And that's gonna be her next cosplay. That's so cute. They don't do the photo shoot at Gojo's house though. They do it at a love hotel. And that fairy thing? Yeah, I lied. That thing is really just a demon obsessed with stealing jizz. Gojo starts freaking out. But then Marin is like, nah, girls love to hang out here. Just look at that photo. Super wholesome. Alright, things are feeling wholesome now. Marin puts on the cosplay, and they get right into taking pictures. Some of her smiling, some of her sleeping, some of her eating chocolate. The manga is super wholesome, and all of these pictures reflect that. The last photo they need is one of Marin singing a lullaby. Aw, that is so precious. One thing leads to another, and they accidentally get into this position. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think these photos match. Her phone lands perfectly and shuts the lights off. The couple next door is audibly getting busy. They are 1 second from going on a Barbie and Ken Dreamhouse adventure. But, just like how Shinju's cosplay was too good to be true, and ended up, getting ruined, this also got ruined by a stupid phone call. This better have been important. It literally destroyed everything.
はい、五条人形じゃないです。
Hi. I was calling to ask if y'all had any more pepperoni pizza? Oh, wait, sorry. Is this the Love Hotel? That's my bad. I just really wanted some pepperoni pizza.
Their time runs out, so they leave. And on the elevator down, Marin is twisting her hair. she's probably feeling a bit awkward. Gojo, on the other hand, is infuriated with a certain someone.
What?
He's been wanting to go on that Barbie and Ken Dreamhouse adventure since he first laid eyes on one, all to be ruined by the sorriest butt dial.
It actually wasn't a butt dial. Sometimes when my fingers are sticky, I press the wrong number.
Episode 12, the final episode, and it's self-titled. After those insane chain of events, what is about to happen? Looks like they're just hanging out like normal. They end up watching a scary movie together, and Marin is pretty freaked out by it. They also go to a festival together, and Gojo is loving the view of her neck. And while they're watching the fireworks, Gojo realizes that every year before this, he would be alone in his room, doing something like this.
Wow, Ashley. You look so pretty today. How was your day? That is so awesome.
But now this year, he's with a real girl. A few days later, Marin calls Gojo because she got super spooked watching the sequel. So she asks him to talk on the phone to make her feel safe. Once he falls asleep, she feels so comforted by the sound of his breathing. After this, extremely cute things happen. And the animators make sure to end off this series with a close-up on Marin's face. They know exactly what they are doing. And I'm not just talking about this scene.
Okay, sir, so we have a lot of money and resources for the animation, so it's gonna go into the backgrounds, right? The background? Are you stupid? Listen here! Whenever Marin takes her clothes off or gets into a cosplay, dump every last penny into that shit. And how would we do that, sir? You see this right here? I want you to replicate this, frame by frame. But what about the beautiful ocean? Does it look like I care about the ocean? My man Jack Harlow said it best. Put every last drop of money into
Dim titties.
Lloyd Forger is one of the best spies in the world. He's handsome, he's mysterious, he's intelligent, but he's also a loner that wants nothing to do with women and hates all children. Well, that's awkward, because he gets assigned the biggest mission of his life. His assignment is to get as close as possible to this constipated looking guy. And in order to do so, he needs to get married and have a kid. All in 1 week.
I'm on an important mission for Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
You mean he has to?
Hey, hold on.
All in 1 week? Lloyd, aka Twilight, is one of the top spies in the nation though. This is something only he could pull off. Objective number 1, get a child. Because it is physically impossible to turn his seed into one of these, in 1 week, he must go the route of adoption. He pulls up on this guy, who looks a little... And he's like, I need the smartest kid you have. So he shows him Anya, who appears to be smart at first, but is actually kinda stupid. I mean, she's just kinda smart. She has the power to read people's minds, so she seems like a genius.
Oh yeah, so my life is so I like you again.
For some reason though, her caretaker absolutely despises her.
Uh-oh.
And lets him take her with no questions asked. Well, that's kinda weird. On their way home, Lloyd starts off their new relationship strong and says,
You will address me as your daddy. If anybody asks, I birthed you. You are my seed.
And she's like,
Okay, Papa.
I'm a pretty optimistic guy, so I'm hoping, maybe, just maybe, he'll start loving her like a real father, and they can be a happy family. But then we find out a few things about Anya. She loves peanuts. Cannot relate. She's obsessed with spies. No wonder she loves Lloyd so much. And she is excellent at whining, crying, bothering, and ruining everything around her. Lloyd decides once the mission is over, it's back to Papa Hiccups. Lloyd might be a big loner, but he does have one friend though. My man Frankie.
Hell, Carter, you going crazy.
He's excellent at giving him insider information for missions. Anya really is a pretty garbage daughter. Her smart brain accidentally messages the bad guys and gets herself kidnapped by Edgar. Lloyd doesn't want to kill him, so the only route is to threaten him. He's probably gonna tell Edgar, if you come anywhere near my house again, I'll whip out my super cool katana collection and cut you all up.
I know your daughter's name.
No, you don't.
It's Karen.
Ha, you probably just checked my Facebook. You don't really know her.
She's 5'4", 113 pounds, wears a size 7 in Nike runners, loves Korean food, and has 1 mole on her right shoulder and 2 on her left foot.
Yeah, okay, I'll stop bothering you. Is this what it means to be one of the best spies in the world? Is this what it means to be Twilight? Their goal is to get Anya into this super prestigious school. She barely gets in, which means they move on to the second phase, family interview. Just one parent isn't gonna slide though. They demand dose. Objective number 2. Lloyd needs a hot, spicy wife to play the mother role. So you already know he got
Ugly.
Scratch that. Enter your Briar. On the surface, she's just an attractive young woman working a city hall job who isn't the brightest. But on the inside, she's a deadly assassin, one of the best to ever do it. We get to witness one of her most powerful moves. She can force any man to freeze up for approximately 3 seconds. All she needs to do is bend over. Betrayed by their willies, her opponents are destroyed. And I'm not gonna lie, her face, her hair, her dress, her heels,
Please step on me.
make for a pretty alluring package. And just like how Lloyd has a corny nickname, so does she. What's her name again, Humphrey?
Sword Princess.
Lloyd and Yor cross paths at a tailor shop. Thanks to Anya's mama song, they get together. Lloyd needs a fake wife, and Yor needs a fake boyfriend. So they decide to stay in a fake marriage to make life easier, even though there are definitely some things wrong with her.
Oh, I can't watch. Okay, maybe just a little.
The preparations are complete. They are finally ready for the family interview. It's no easy task. Some of the instructors have a stick inside them, and some of them hate all women, but they manage to pass the interview. Thanks to them, Richard riding the school super hard. Lloyd spends all of his money, uses up all of his resources, and nearly gets himself killed. All so Anya can get good grades in school. Anya says she's gonna do her best, but her best needs to get better. It's the first day of class, and she's already throwing. I ain't wanna talk though. For the mission to succeed, Anya needs good grades. Well, that ain't happening, so it's on to plan B. Lloyd needs to get in contact with a bug's life, and he has a sorry son, Damian. All Anya needs to do is befriend him, but she goes one step further and gets Damian to have a crush on her. Something about the faces she makes. Got our boy interested. Speaking of love, Yor's coworkers find out she has a brother, and they waste no time at all. Say, is your little brother a hottie?
Oh my gosh, he's so fine.
I'm gonna marry him.
That's a full course meal.
You're gonna be my sister-in-law. He would always call me sis and refuse to leave my side.
Yikes. So he's obsessed with his sister? Pass.
Yikes! He's obsessed with his sister? Pass? Come on now. Ain't nothing wrong with a little sibling love.
Yeah, I love my sister.
Okay, don't say it like that. You're making it weird. Yor's little brother is Yessirrrrrr. He works for the secret police. And just like his sister, there is definitely something wrong with him. Another thing about him is that he really loves his sister.
It's one of those taboos in society, isn't it, that you could contemplate getting physically involved with your sister.
Cut that weird stuff off, Humphrey! It's not like that! Yuri is coming over to see if Lloyd is worthy enough to be his beautiful sister's husband. On the way over, he bought a beautiful bouquet of roses for his big sister. And for some reason, whenever he thinks about her, his whole body starts tingling.
What up, invaders? I owe you guys a crazy video, and in this one, I'm gonna try to kiss my sister.
Nah, bruh! I cannot have you near the laptop anymore. Go sit in the corner!
You must not be an invader.
Yuri meets Lloyd, and he hates him immediately. Lloyd does everything he can to finesse. He cooks a 5-star meal for Yuri. He Richard rides Yuri. He does some classy flirting with Yuri's sister. But it isn't enough. Yuri demands them to demonstrate their burning love for each other right in front of him. And says, I'ma need y'all to make out right here on this couch while I stand here and watch. At first, Yor is feeling a bit hesitant. This could possibly be how she has her first kiss ever. But then her brother's like,
What's taking so long? Why aren't y'all sucking bass?
So Yuri gets some help from the Alk and becomes a whole nother person. Legend has it, this scene alone doubled Spy Family's rating on Mal. Being down bad for a 2D woman is not to be taken lightly.
Victory.
Things are about to get heated, but then all of a sudden, somebody switched up, and we get a cute little flashback. Yuri gets home and shows his big sis his test results, and his reward is a little peck on the cheek. This single peck on the cheek flooded Yuri's brain with gallons of dopamine. It became his entire purpose to live.
Listen, SpongeBob, you've gotta help.
And immediately after, my man pops the question. It's not really a question though, more like a statement. Back in the present, Yuri stops the kiss from happening, but is probably gonna cry himself to sleep every single night for the rest of his life.
This is why I don't go outside. Ever.
It's too bad Anya missed out on this wonderful night. Her ability to read minds is so crazy, man. I just want to thank God she wasn't in my class during high school.
Start whenever you're ready, sweetie.
Thank you, Miss Roberts. The president I chose to talk about today is Andrew Jackson. The reason why I chose Andrew Jackson to do my presentation over...
I gotta fart so bad.
Rebecca is looking at me. I think she likes me. My butt itches. Mia Khalifa.
Anyways, if there's one message this anime got across very well, it's that there is so much more going on beneath the surface. Take Anya, for example. She's a cute little girl that is super funny and playful. but she's also capable of making faces like these, and does an excellent job of ruining her father's life with her garbage grades. She also loves to complain and cry over the smallest of things. And then there's Yuri. He's an attractive young man who loves his job, but his locker at work is flooded with pictures of his sister. He was valedictorian in high school, only because whenever he got a good grade, he was rewarded with physical affection from his sister. And then there's Yor. She's a bit ditzy and loves her family, but is also the finest assassin in the world. I swear, bruh, when she gets mad, I start to feel something deep inside of myself. And then there's Lloyd. He's a papa, and a really good one too. But he's also Bernard, a thick, wise old man that loves mashed potatoes. And he's also Ace, a smooth-talking weapon expert with 8 girlfriends. And he's also Carl, who gets turned on by penguins. Oh! And then there's Dep. He seems kinda chill.
Hey man, nice to meet you.
But he actually spends countless hours every single day talking about 2D women.